We're going to give it about 20 seconds, 30 seconds for everything to catch up on Facebook and YouTube before we actually start. But hello, I'm Todd Reynolds, and it is now Thursday at 1:34 p.m. on the East Coast. I guess that's Eastern Daylight Time. And if you are not watching today, which is the date of May 21st, Thursday at 1:34 p.m., you are not watching live. So if you comment, I will not be responding to your comments in real time, but I will see them. Now, I am getting no comments or reactions through yet, so I'm not even sure if anybody is here or not. But you know, they say that when you press the button, you go live. So this hopefully will go live. So today, I enter my second live stream ever on Facebook with an agenda. I have an agenda. I'll show it to you. It looks, I think, something like this. That's kind of it. And so we're going to be going through about a half an hour, talking about some stuff, answering your questions if you have any, and fielding your thoughts and observations about all the things that we are currently engaged in. Going to start out today with showing you something free that I just came across the other day. Now this is for musicians greatly because it's a plugin, and you probably know what a plugin is if you're a musician or not. A plugin is one of those things that purportedly makes your life better in any computer or phone software program. For instance, if you think about it the right way, autocorrect is a plugin. Now, this is not a great vote for plugins at this point, but sometimes plugins can become a vital part of a software, kind of integrated into the software. So every recording program that you might have ever heard of will have its own set of plugins, which will allow you to alter the quality of your tracks or any part of your sound, equalization, reverb, delay, things like that. Rarely do you come across great plugins that don't cost a lot of money. And this company, Valhalla, has been making kind of extraordinary plugins for a while. And their kind of trademark is that they're always $50, like $50 for a lovely reverb. I think they have a delay out now, but yesterday they came out with a free giant reverb. It's called Supermassive, and I'll show you. Whoa, that's the Restream stuff. This is what I meant to show you. This is the page. Isabel, who's manning the chat today, which I still cannot see for some reason. Isabel is going to put this website in for you. This is a free reverb, and it sounds amazing for Mac or Windows. If any of you does audio on any level, download this. Just put it in your, well, it'll install itself, but use it in good health. It's reverb for those of you who are not musicians or not sort of in the electronic music field. Reverbs are things kind of like, I don't know, garam masala or salt or let's see, what else? Cumin. It's like if you add too much, it can really ruin your dish. But if you add just the right amount, your dish is kind of awesome. So I'm going to have to get used to key commands here. So anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to kind of share with everybody. There's this kind of free reverb plugin that came out yesterday, and everybody who uses any kind of recording software should know about it. So, wow, there we go. Hey, Kathy Rollis. How you doing? Kathy Rollis up in North Adams, the proprietor of Lickety Split, the greatest ice cream manufacturer in the region. And they're also the cafe right inside of Mass Mocha, which I hope is going to be opening soon. I think I heard something about May 21st. I'm not sure. I shouldn't be saying any. Is that today? Are you guys open? Kathy, are you opening today? Anyway, at some point, things are starting to reopen. I think you probably all feel that. If anybody is in New York, tell me how it is down there. I'm up in North Adams, Massachusetts. We are up in North Adams, Massachusetts. Hey, Dylan Mansour, great drummer. And so anyway, yeah, Kathy, let us know about what's going on with the lickety split. No, okay. Well, we'll have to wait for that. But we're slowly opening up here in Massachusetts. I don't know how y'all are doing down in New York. It's gorgeous here. It's sunny. We're lucky. We have to run our dog every day. Have I shown you in Cuckoo? I mean, I think most of you folks know in Cuckoo. Is he back? Oh, you can barely see him though. The camera is not strategically positioned, but we'll get a shot of you, a shot for you of Nkuku for anybody who hasn't met them. Hey, Guy Klusevic, my great friend, an accordionist composer, who I have played with so happily for these many years. That's Nkuku. He's our he's our he's our Azawak, Azawakh. He's a wonderful dog, getting more wonderful by the day. But boy, those teen years, oi, those were kind of hard. I don't mean to complain. We're happy. Anyway, yes, Dylan, it is a standing desk. It is a wonderful standing desk. In fact, from iMover, I've had it for a while, and I got it just before all this started. It's kind of weird. I got it because I was having some pretty severe back issues last year, and it really has contributed just to more movement, you know. So my back issues, thankfully, have rectified through some good old fashioned, what's that called? Physical therapy. Yeah, with Williamstown Physical Therapy here near. So as people start to come in, first of all, much love to you all, wherever you're coming in from. This agenda that I've got today, I really wanted to start talking about some things that are kind of a little bit more serious. Serious to the degree that we all share these things, and we have been journeying through it together in all of our own ways, with all of our own joys, with all of our own pressures. It has been quite a trip, and it's not ending. It gets sunny, and the trees don't care about COVID, so they still sprout, and life kind of continues on, while we're all still kind of left to wonder what's next and cautiously approach the future. So I wanted to talk a lot about this journey that we're on together, and how it has impacted me, how it might be impacting you, because it's just a whole lot of newness, and that's part of what we share. I am learning every bit as much as you are about how to adjust to no income for a while, how to adjust to cancel gigs if you're a musician, a furloughed retail business if you are the owner of a retail business. There's so many things that are kind of changing for us. So each one of us has to learn something new. Now, for me, one of the things that's kind of a boon and a support to me is that I've been doing, kind of recording and technology. I've been interested in technology since I was, 10. So I built my first home studio when I was, I can remember the first time I really seriously doubled down and I began to make my record was in 2005. It was up here just 15 minutes away. I bought my first big old desktop computer and began to write Outerborough, which later became the title track of my 2011 record. So I've been doing this technology thing, and that's what I teach at Manhattan School of Music. My entire gestalt is about supporting others to do the same. I'm one of those folks that think that classical music, which is what I grew up in, classical music, the lifeblood of that tradition is the music that gets created today, not the constant recreation of the music from the past, although I find that to be equally important. It's just not something that I concern myself with as much as I did when I was younger, and being in that music to train and to get better, at playing the violin. But right now, and since before 2005, back in the Ethel days, this was it was always about technology as part of our business and part of our community. So I coach other people to do the same. And when we ran up to this kind of the beginning of this pandemic uh, era for us, I found myself all of a sudden confronted as well with a great amount of change. So, with the Bang on a Can marathon coming up as it was a few weeks ago, and Jason Robert Brown, the great Broadway composer, asking his whole band to record and submit tracks so that he could make an evening or a full length concert to kind of act like our residency that we do in New York every month. There was a lot to learn. And I had always been kind of concerning myself with the YouTube content creators and the people who go live. It just wasn't my world. I'd always been involved in photography. I'm a photographer. That's kind of my second hobby, and I love it. So I love cameras, but all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the webcam looks awful. And oh, well, I've got audio because I have a recording studio, so I've got good audio. But what do I do next? And how do I stream? And I had no idea what a capture card was. And it was learn for like 3 weeks straight. And luckily, my dear friend and colleague, Ashley Bathgate, the fabulous cellist and musician, Ashley kind of was pinging me for answers too. And so she kind of became my constant passenger, and we went back and forth as we kind of discovered this new world together. And now we're here. Now I'm streaming. This is my second stream on Thursday. We were here on Monday, so to any of you who are returning, welcome back. And so this is the second time, and I'm kind of feeling things out, and I know you are too. So it's part of my desire to be a contribution to our community. Large and small, my musical community, my larger community that extends way past music into a whole other things. You people know who you are, and it's really a desire of mine to be of service here and talk about some of these things in the hopes that some of it might be a contribution to you. One of the things that I think everybody's dealing with, and you might have these questions or you might not, I don't know, but if you do, let me know. Everybody wants to know how to Zoom better. Everybody wants to know, I think, why they can't play their music through Zoom, or why their mic doesn't sound good through Zoom, or why their image doesn't look good through Zoom, or there are a lot of Zoom questions, and there's a lot of streaming questions, and there's a lot of knowledge out there. I mean, YouTube is more of a search engine than Google is at this point for everybody, including myself. So those are some of the answers that I'd love to provide if you want to ask. Maybe today we won't be so technical. Maybe we'll save that for Saturday. And if enough people ping through and say, hey, can you help me fix my Zoom thing or whatever, then I'll start doing some more specific Facebook Lives on that. These things will all go up to YouTube as well. I'm going to start a serious YouTube channel soon. And I would love to know if you think of one of the things that is either lacking in your knowledge or something that you're interested in, something you'd like to hear a friend like myself talk about or contribute toward, please let me know in the comments. Just tell Isabel and myself what might serve you. And that'll help us to begin really streamlining and crafting a YouTube channel, which will serve the community. It's been how long now? 2005? Wow. So let's say that's 15 years that I've been teaching a lot about technology. I really did believe, and still do, that every musician can be like Johann Sebastian Bach. I think that every musician has it in them to be a composer, an improviser, and an electronic musician. And Bach, although he didn't exactly have electricity, uh, used the first MIDI controller. He was the first. He was the first guy to, well, one of the first people to press a key on a keyboard and have the sound come out way over there. So my friend Luc Dubois often cites somebody who I've read. This is like third hand, but it's a quote, and I just forget whose it is. But it's a very famous quote. Maybe somebody can tell me. Every generation uses the technology available to it, right? So the organ was a technology. The violin is a technology. I use an acoustic violin going into computers, so that's kind of a hybrid technology of 21st century electronics and an 18th century violin, right? So that's my belief. That's kind of what I stand for everybody. And now, all of a sudden, with the advent of us all going inside for a moment, I cannot tell you the number of my colleagues that have said, I'm going to learn how to record at home. So over the past 2 or 3 years, ever since Isabel and I moved up here, we've been doing residencies right here on our property. Week-long residencies, weekend residencies. People come up and we go on hikes, we cook together, and then I work with them 6 hours a day, teach them Ableton Live, or work with them on their improvisation chops, or I'm developing just a good old scale camp, which I'd love to deliver at some point. But right now, those residencies have stopped. They've all moved online, right? So that's happening. We've all had our own responses to this pandemic, and I kind of wanted to amplify this one thing that seems to be turning over quickly, and that is how we are with each other with regard to money. Now, I've always thought that money is one of those channels that needs to be open. Money needs to flow through. You hoard money, you're going to end up unhappy. But if you let the money flow through, it comes back to you. And that's kind of fuzzy-wuzzy California, where I come from, very LA-based, warm and fuzzy ideology. But I actually embody it. I try to go ahead and spend the money and work toward bringing it in as kind of a channel in a circular flow. So right now, we're in this weird thing where everybody's applying for a grant, small business loans, and we're all trying to be proprietors, and we're all trying to get some relief and hope we got your stimulus check. Did you get yours? I didn't get mine. Isabel got hers. I didn't get mine. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't even begin. But we're working at finding new ways. So every time I go to see a show, like Ashley did a show at National Sawdust last night that was online. Where other shows? Oh, we saw Isabel Hagen. Isabel Hagen did like a half-hour comedy thing on a Zoom call yesterday. It was kind of awesome to see her do that. Isabel Hagen, for those of you who don't know, is a great violist turned comedian. Is the Jimmy Fallon show a little while ago? Yeah, I think it was Jimmy Fallon. Anyway, she's like one of those people that we love to death, and now say, we knew her when, so. But Isabel was doing this show yesterday, and we signed on, and I couldn't not reach out and say, hey, where's your Venmo, and contribute something. So every time I watch something now, whether it's learning or whatever, or whether it's a performance, I feel like I want to give something. There's this idea that we can actually really give to each other now, give something, some sort of contribution. And as performers and as composers and just as people, we can interact in a very grassroots, ground level economy with each other. And we kind of have an opportunity to do so before big stuff comes in and swoops down on it. I brings up one person in particular. It's a guy named John Kilgore. I'm going to tell you a little bit about John because he's an old friend. Done a lot of work with him. Something happened this morning which I thought was very apropos to having a conversation today. And by the way, I'm not even looking at the chat right now. I just kind of want to be with you, and I'll return to the chat in a while and pick up some questions at the end of this. You don't need to call this a rant. I think rant's kind of a cool word, but this is not one of those. This is more of an amplification. When this all started, John, who is an engineer, who I met, I don't even remember what the year was. It was when I first started playing with Steve Reich. When I first joined that band, it was 1991 or 92. And when we made our first recordings, maybe 92 or 93. But John was the chief engineer and the assistant to Judy Sherman, both Grammy Award winning folks in their own right. Judy produced all the many of the Emerson Quartet records, the Reich records, and John has been there ever since. And John has been there forever before that, but I've known John then, and then I've known him ever since and worked with him ever since. John has a wonderful studio in the middle of Manhattan, right? This always kind of was unbelievable to me. 9th Avenue between 44th and 45th in the Film Center building, which is just a beautiful kind of a landmark building. He's had a place in there forever. Hal Wilner, the great mover and shaker who just passed away a few weeks ago, was in that studio with John Kilgore, and literally everybody I know has recorded in John's studio. It's a wonderful studio. His mic cabinet is amazing. John is a wonderful, wonderful person. Here's what John's response to the pandemic was. When we all went inside and we all started to quarantine, I all of a sudden saw a Facebook post, and it was a post saying that he was going to start the home recording advice forum, and he did. He did exactly that. Here, let's see. Let me get it up for you so you can see it. Nope, this one. Nope, this one. There we go. Good enough. Complete with chat windows open, which open automatically. But anyway, I want you to know about this, right? This is John's response. He created a group, a forum, so to speak, where engineers, producers, and musicians could come together and ask questions about home recording. You'll see there the first post right here. John's talking about the fact that he's at a crossroads, right? So he is coming up against this. How do we move forward as well? But yet, here's the thing. It would seem that it would be a competition to John's own recording business for his studio on 9th Avenue that he make this group for us normal folks to figure out how to do stuff at home. You'd think that, right? He doesn't think that. That's not him. His thought is, John, have a great mic cabinet. I got a great piano. I've got a great place to record in the middle of Manhattan where it's noisy outside, but it's quiet inside and you never hear the traffic on the street. And John has provided a service for all of us. He's also been a person who's been super generous with his time and with his abilities, and here he is doing it again. John doesn't, he's looking kind of like the rest of us into what is next for him. As you probably all know, commercial leases are different than year-to-year apartment leases. You lease a long time at a time, and you commit to things. So on this home recording forum today, he posted about the fact that he's coming up against this kind of crossroads about how to move forward. So I say to you, especially those of you in Manhattan, I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't talked to John. I do not know what his deep heart wishes are for how to go forward, but I do know that June and July are going to be important. So if you need any recording done, if you need, that you can't do yourself, or better yet, let's talk about this. Why have a studio? Why join this group? Because there is nothing like learning from people with 50 years of experience. There is nothing like like learning from people who have used every microphone, who have used all this different equipment, who own all that stuff. There's no substitute for that. For me too. I've been recording and I've been an engineer and my own kind of producer for all these years. And every time I'm in John's presence, I always learn a little something new about something, probably about a number of things. So that's John Kilgore Recording. If you, first of all, join that group, anybody who is starting to record for themselves. And there's just a tremendous amount of people who are there to answer questions and to be supportive, including John himself. So that's his response to the pandemic. My response is kind of the same. I'm not here to hawk my next record. I'm not here to really hawk anything. I'm kind of here to say it's a new world, and I want to be part of it in the best way I can, which includes learning correct key commands in Ecamm Live. So if you have questions about streaming or about kind of what I'm up to or what's ahead here, or if you have thoughts, mostly what I'm interested in engaging with you in a Facebook Live context is knowing what you would be most interested in hearing about and knowing what concerns you, what is still there for you to learn that maybe I could contribute to. Eventually, hopefully, we'll start our residencies up here again, and there will be opportunities for people to come up and learn and enjoy and experience and meet our dog and so on. He's not that friendly. Actually, he's very friendly, but he kind of barks sometimes at you when you walk in the door, and I still feel weird about that. Anyway, let me check in with these comments. We'll see who's here today. And hey, Brad Wells was here. Lissy Barnes Flint. Miss you. Lots of folks I miss. Nobody from YouTube. That's interesting. Anyway, it's 2:01. I bet we've been here for about 25 minutes. That's kind of what the time was last time we were here. So I'm going to sign off and going to say that we'll be back here on Saturday, basically the same time. This first week we're doing a 1:30 on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then next week we'll start to amp things up a little bit. Try to bring an agenda with me and talk about some things that you might leave in the comments. And also we're working hard at pulling the YouTube channel together and gathering all the clips that we have. You'll see some more clips with the robots soon. If you saw that one yesterday on Facebook, Eric Singer was in touch, and now we're going to have a lot more robot stuff to look at too. If you have any questions just before I sign off, type them into the comments, and I'm happy to take a few things. Robbie Bowen, hey, love to you too, man. John Kilgore's here. There he is. Yep. Rob Flax. Hey, Rob. If you don't know Rob Flax's work, check out Rob Flax. You can find him on Instagram. He's got a Patreon too. Everybody's got a Patreon. I do not have a Patreon. Should I? I'm wondering. I'm also wondering about starting a summer camp online. Would you be interested? Anybody have any things they want to learn? Because I'm kind of here to teach them. Anyway, no more mouth sounds. Daniel DeHaan, great to see you. Good. Any last questions? Hey. Nice shirt. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. Comes from Hawaii. And the batteries are still not low. It's a stupid joke. Isabel hates me when I make that joke. It's just batteries in a shirt. Will there be marshmallows at camp? There will be marshmallows at camp. We have 2 campfire sites on site, John. And of course you will be welcome to have marshmallows. We do s'mores. There's all sorts of stuff. Hey, let me just give everybody, since we're still here, let me just give everybody one little tip that I did want to share with you all. There are just this is a real quick and dirty. When doing all this online stuff we're doing, there are a couple of truths, at least what we tend to accept as truths. You put a microphone in front of your face instead of using the internal microphone on your computer, you will sound better. I mean, this is not biblical. I'm not like citing scripture or anything like that. So it's not like truth like some people think of truth, but it's generally accepted truth. You put a microphone in front of your face, you'll sound better. Doesn't have to cost a lot, but if you make that choice, yours and whoever you're talking to's experience will be equally more enjoyable. Headphones, awesome. Putting headphones in your ears means there's no feedback back into whatever mic you're using, and your experience is heightened. But here's the most important one, and this is the one I can actually show you, and I would love to show you. It's this one. There. Are we there? What are you seeing, hon?
What am I seeing you?
Oh, you're seeing me?
I'm behind.
That's okay. Oh, no. Here we go. I got it up. Today's refinance rate is 2.60%. No, that is not what I meant to talk about. This is a readout of my internet speed. Speedtest.net. You can use it too. Just test your internet speed anytime you want. Now, this particular page is one where I am connected only through an Ethernet cable. And that my download speed is 477.46 and my upload speed is 23.66. So this is that. This is an Ethernet cable. And people will pretty much widely tell you that whenever you're hardwired to your computer, you are better off than when you are on a wireless router. It's true. It's true. It's one of those things, just like hard drive storage or RAM. It's going to continue increasing. Wireless speeds in relationship to Ethernet wired speeds, they will always be amping up and up and up, but it will always be that a wired connection will be faster and more stable. Here's a test that I did right before we went live. This particular one is my wireless, right? Now, it is my wireless 5G. With your wireless router, whatever modem you're using, you will probably see, your name here, -2G and 5G. So this one right here, I think the 2G thing is, I'm sorry, it's not 2G, 2 megahertz, right? What is it? Here, let's look at what it is. Because, oh wait, it is 2G and 5G. Okay, so in general, the 2G ones I think are designed for the Internet of Things, right? So those are the ones who go to your, you would connect that to your refrigerator and to your oven and to your scale. Well, scale's Bluetooth probably, but whatever your household items are, you might want to run it on that network. And the 5G is for devices like your phone, like your computer, like your iPad, right? So this one here is the one that's on my 5G. That's 246 versus 23 up. So remarkably similar on the upload speed. And then this one right here was my test on the 2G. 51 download, 23 upload. So I'm mystified myself that the upload speed is constantly the same throughout those three tests. Like, why? Shouldn't that all kind of suck equivalently more as you go down the spectrum? No, so that's weird. But that's the difference. Now, in my experience, I've always noticed that there's quite a bit more of a glitchy type of vibe on anybody that's not wired. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. But when you are in a wired connection, you're not only faster, more stable, but for the most part, you're going to avoid kind of the pressure of any other things that are on that in that same internet vein, whether it's other more users on it or whatever. And that's beyond my IT savvy, my IT knowledge. but I'm happy to hear from everybody else. Right on. Okay, so thank you, Pascal. Sami is here too. Some of our Dona from last time. Yeah, you guys, listen. This is once again been great to see you. And whether you're watching live or whether you're watching later and commenting, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving us a click. And Isabel and I will see you on Saturday at 1:30. All right. Be well. Stay safe until then. Enjoy the sun. Say what? Somebody's asking what my mic is?
Yeah, Benjamin Nid.
Oh, wow. Benjamin Nid is. For some reason, I'm not seeing half of these comments because they're not coming through to me. We'll try to work on that next time. Benjamin, this mic is let me push it up. This is a Coles 4040 ribbon mic. Do you like it? Is it good? Do you hate it? It's gold. I used to like gold a lot. I don't like gold as much anymore, but I like this gold. It looks good, right? I love this mic. It's a ribbon mic, and I've been using it to record all week. Last time we did our stream, my levels were too low, and so I just jacked up my levels, and here I am. I hope it sounds good. Any other questions you got?
Yeah, well, Pascal says he wants to record. He wants to learn composing for solo violin with pedals. How do
Oh, come on, Pascal. You know how to do that. You did that for me once already. It's just that I ended up with in the hospital when I was supposed to premiere it. I still have a pedal of yours. Nah. I will I will I will enjoy working with you, Pascal, anytime as long as we're both breathing. So we'll learn that stuff together. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for dropping by, and we will talk again on Saturday at 1:30. Let me know if it's helpful to advertise. I mean, don't feel a little uncomfortable advertising this stuff. I kind of let everybody know I was going to do this a half an hour beforehand, but if you want to register it in your memory banks, 1:30 on Saturday, or if you think I should start letting people know, you let me know that too. Let me know anything. I just love to hear from you, and I'll type back to you. Thanks so much, you all. Have a great, safe day. Bye-bye.